Hey there, it's Dr. Andrea from Make Your Mark Global. Make Your Mark Global is a boutique marketing, publishing, and branding agency. I am the founder, and my background spans over 20 years in digital and broadcast media. But today I want to talk to you about publishing because this has become one of the biggest focal points for Make Your Mark Global over the last 2.5 years. Now, I myself am actually a client of Make Your Mark Global. I personally, as a medical professional and spiritual teacher, I publish my own books at least once per year, sometimes a little bit more. And that's really because I've been through both the traditional publishing process and self-publishing and arrived at this hybrid. That is, we've created a boutique agency with dedicated professionals that can take you from A to Z in your publishing journey, but with a lot more control in your hands and a lot more confidence that your work is going to be treated the way you want. So let's go back to about the year 2001 when I was first exposed to publishing. Now, I had been reading all my life, and as somebody who loves psychology and health, some of my heroes have been Dr. Deepak Chopra and Dr. Wayne Dyer, and reading all of these great books that really took sometimes complex medical or psychological information and putting it into really tangible, relatable terms that was life-changing, like literally life-changing. So in the year 2000, I started working for the Discovery Channel, Discovery Communications, because we had just recently launched a health network, the Discovery Health Network. And I was serving as the medical director and spokesperson for Discovery Health Channel. So I was on TV and I was anchoring the news, and I was also representing the network at a bunch of functions, conferences, and things around the United States and Canada. And at one point, I delivered a speech on stage about the 5 keys to living heart healthy. Now, I was basically just taking general health information that every doctor pretty much knows, but putting it into action steps so that anyone who wanted to live heart healthy really could. And I delivered this as a keynote speech. Later, I went back to Discovery and I was typing it up to be a blog post. And I was literally doing my own HTML coding. And it was interesting because I will never forget the day that this lovely woman named Rita was standing behind me. And I kind of thought she was like critiquing my HTML, making sure I had all my little end tags. But no, she said, "You know, Andrea, that's a book." And at first I was thinking, what do you mean? She said, "Your 5-step plan, that's a book." And it turns out that Rita was in publishing before she came over to the TV world. And she really opened my eyes to something. Now, first, I kind of was like, huh? Me? Write a book? Why would anybody want a book by me when there are already such great books out there, by Deepak, by Wayne, by Christiane Northrup, and all these people that I looked up to in the beginning of my medical career and really interfacing with the public. But she said something that changed my whole perspective, and that was, "Andrea, you have a different voice. You may be repeating the similar message, but you're a different messenger. And the audience out there may relate to you better than they relate to Deepak or Wayne or any other doctor or therapist." And it really made me understand that we all do have our own way of communicating. If you think about it, how many people teach mathematics? I mean, should there only be one person to teach you how to do long division? Well, the vastness of our audience now, it's crazy. I mean, because of the internet, you can now publish a book in your own style and fashion and have it available like that to millions of people around the world, either as an ebook, an audiobook, or a print book. And the cost is dramatically lower than it's ever been before. Now, at that time, I was working for Discovery. I had a very busy life, and I soon opened up a wellness center. and I appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And it was interesting because I was once again breaking down these medical concepts into easy to understand terms and stories. And I got a call from a publisher at Penguin. That's a major publisher in the United States and Canada. And this imprint, Avery, wanted to talk to me about publishing. And fortunately, I had already started putting my thoughts together in a manuscript about what I thought I would contribute to the world about this mind, body, spirit approach to health and well being. So when I called up a literary agent and said, hey, somebody over at Avery wants to talk to me, it was cool because I had an agent who could shuttle me through the process of meeting with different publishers, pitching my proposal, and really evaluating who would be best for me. And in my mind at that time, again, this was like 2001, it was really all about going the traditional route. It's what every other doctor and therapist that I knew was really hoping for. And so I did. I got a majorly significant advance, and we published that book. It was the Pennington Plan, 5 simple steps for emotional health, vibrant well-being, and spiritual development. And the book did pretty well. But after that, I was being looked at as a publishing machine. I was expected to crank out a book every year. And I kind of realized that the process was a little artificial because I handed over my work and then it got messed with and tweaked with, and lots of pieces of the process were out of my control. And that is typically okay for most authors. But at that point, I was so young in my career, and this work was so very personal to me that I really wanted to spend more time nurturing it and making sure that the right images and the styling really preserved my voice and my essence and my intention. Well, it turns out that I didn't publish anything again for many years, mainly because I was still finding my way and finding my voice. When I was on television, I was expected to be kind of a medical journalist, a doc in the box. But what I really am is an artist. I love to create and emote and share stories that are really deeper in a spiritual sense, actually. I really care about the deep spiritual lives of my clients, of my listening audience, because ever since I was a kid, that's really what has fascinated me the most. And then health was kind of secondary. I always felt like if you were really on this planet to live out some sort of grand spiritual mission, like your soul had its own agenda, then this body of ours is really just a vehicle for us to fulfill that spiritual mission. And so I kind of looked at health as, hey, get your body as healthy as it can be. Yes, some of us have some diseases and illnesses and accidents. So dust it up as best you can and go out there and live your life. Just like when I got my first car. It wasn't the flashy ride that, I eventually got when I had money, but I was so grateful for that little Mercury that I cleaned it and shined it and put fancy rims on it. And to me, that's the way health is. It may not always be perfect, but if we can live in alignment with our soul's passion and our mission, then life can really be this wonderful adventure and it can be fun. So, long story short, what I eventually came to do was really find my own voice and find my own confidence. And it started really because I was getting responses from my public, my audience, that they liked what I was putting out in my voice, not as the boring doctor that I used to be. So when I published The Orgasm Prescription for Women, I decided to self-publish. And I had already self-published a couple of ebooks, and I put them out on Amazon and other booksellers. But this was the first big trade book that I was going to do for myself. And I went through a process almost exactly like what I experienced with a major traditional publisher, including hiring a PR team, doing a virtual book tour, getting on television. And the cool thing was that after being on just one morning show in the UK, I flew in, did the show, jumped on a plane, and that afternoon, as I landed in France, where I live, I turned on my phone on the airplane, and I got this message from the PR agency saying, congratulations, your book just hit #1 on Amazon. And I'm like, wow, in that short period of time from just that one morning show,